He's somebody I care for. I'm having fun with him. He's good energy. You know, whatever happens, happens, but that's between him and I because we're grown adults. But this is a reality show, so I get that. I understand y'all looking for tea. I get that, okay? But here's my thing. Hashtag Black Love, Latarian, and Anissa. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, we already got into all of that too. No. I am an equal opportunity tea drinker, ma'am. So the same fire I hold to you, I hold to everyone else. Hell, I held it to my damn self when I talked about me and Easy getting together in Battle of the Seasons. So don't worry.
Oh my God, okay.
Welcome everyone to this episode of The Challenge Aftermath. I'm your host, Devyn Simone, and I am hanging here with some of the cast of The Challenge Allstars. This go round, I have Sela, Nehemiah, Easy, Yes, and Kelly Ann in the house. We are gonna have a little fun, and we are gonna talk about this week's episode. Let's start with this week's challenge.
Today's challenge is called Rib Cage Pass. Now, each individual is going to be placed on the side of that speeding truck. When I say go, you're going to jump from beam to beam all the way to the other side where you retrieve a ball, bring it back, and jam it into a net.
This challenge has really elevated the stakes for you guys, right? I mean, even just anything moving, I feel like, and you guys having to do something else already makes it risky AF. How do you guys feel like this compares to other challenges you've done?
It was Hollywood stunt level, like things that you've seen happen in a movie that you wanted to always try. The pillars were so different heights, and then the truck's moving and you got dust. You kind of just zoned out and nothing really scared you. Like Sela said, I mean, it was just, you were just focused on the next pillar in front of you, or at least I was.
I was both, because one of the things that you watch on the challenge now is how they've stepped it up compared to when I was on it. And when I seen that, it was like that moment when I knew, like, I'm really doing the challenge right now. Because I feel like this is the closest one that you could have died on.
It wasn't so much scary about the heights, at least not for me. It was the fact that it's a moving vehicle, and that's a variable. You know what I mean? Like, the platform doesn't move. The water's there, safety net, but this is a moving vehicle. And I think that was the variable that made me most uncomfortable.
Jumping from platform to platform, fine, we could do that. Put that on a moving truck, now it's getting crazy. Put it in a Patagonian tornado dust storm, and now it's just off the hinges. It's every person for themselves. And when you're hanging there,
that was horrible.
And you see those wheels and the dust, and you're eating dust at like 40 miles an hour, you just imagine your head turn into a watermelon under that truck. I mean, that's really what could have gone down. I still think I could have died.
That Patagonian sandstorm was horrible. Like, it was horrid. It was like, it's not just like being on a truck, jumping from pillar to pillar. It's like a straight up hurricane of sand.
I mean, imagine a white snowstorm, but just replace it with sand and it's brown. And you couldn't see the truck driving.
And it would be whipping. We can't even see the truck coming when someone's coming, because there is just nothing but a dust cloud.
I saw a truck, I'm like, yes, this is gonna be cool. But then I'm looking at the posts and how far apart they are, and I'm like, hold on, you want me to leap up? I'm like, I'm not a lemur. Like, I can't leap up from I was like, how do I do this? You know, before John A started, I'm looking over like, you're scared too, right? Like, it's not just me. And she looked like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm nervous, but like, I got this. And I was like, all right, well, if you got this, then I should be able to feel the same way.
I am super competitive. People may not know that I'm actually playing the game. To make it this far, I pretty much had to fly under the radar. That's part of my strategy.
Johnny was kind of inspiration for you in that moment, it sounds like.
She was I felt very, very blessed to have her at the same time as me, because I don't know if I would have been as pushed as I was if it wasn't for her.
Kelly Ann, you and Mark are the winners of this challenge. What strategy did you have going in?
Really wanted to be number one. I was in my head a little bit though. The girls were telling me that, you're not it's really hard. You're hard to jump up. And I wasn't really sure if I'd be able to do it because I watched them and I feel like they're good competitors. So I was like, this is scary. And I was really amazed when I did win, because I didn't have the confidence in myself that I probably should have had. But
That's really awesome. I'm glad that that was a support that you're a badass, Kellyanne, but we knew this. We're glad that you know this too. Easy, you and Hisela are badasses, but you guys were not badasses, or maybe you were just bad at this challenge because you lost. Easy, what's going on with you guys? Why do you think you lost this one?
Oh, I can tell you exactly why. One of the parameters and the TJ factor was don't touch the rig. But it came down to Alton and myself, and I touched it more than him. So that's what DQ'd me out.
And why did you keep touching the truck? Was it just like instinct, accident?
When you do things like that, I just kind of blank out. So I mean, I remember maybe touching it a few times, but I thought I had taken myself far enough away from the truck to where, you know, you just instinctually touch it to gain your balance. Like Yes said, the truck's going 40 miles an hour down a dust storm, like gravel road.
Yeah, we just trying to stay alive out there. You know, we just, once it's on, you're in the dust storm. It's just you and your life. So grab what you gotta grab.
Yes, didn't you almost fall off?
Well,
Didn't you almost fall off?
Yeah, man. Well, it was me and you going head to head, and it's similarly, like, just like Kellyanne said, like, I see Easy over there, and I'm flying. I'm going as hard as I can. I'm going all out. I'm trying my best. And I feel good. I'm like, all right, I'm moving. And I'm like, well, Easy's moving too. Look at him, he's right there. We were neck and neck, you know, a lot, man. You got the fancy feet, man, and you just on some acrobat styles out there. So I was impressed.
Fancy
I knew
footwork.
I had to turn it on, man.
You know, you got to listen to TJ so hard because he just like, you know, either you check in or you check out. And all I heard TJ say was, if you fall off, you're DQ'd. But I didn't realize that if you fall off, that cycle for that ball is a DQ. I thought it was a DQ. So when I got to the third pillar and my little legs are like hanging and I can't reach, you know, there was no step stool for me. I was scared to jump. So I was like, if I jump and I fall, I get DQ'd. So I felt, let me play it safe. I'm gonna stay on the third pillar. But later on, I learned from that and I was like, I'm gonna jump on everything now. Big mistake.
Derek goes around thinking that he's won when in actuality Mark has won. Are you guys impressed by Mark's performance in this particular challenge?
It looked like he was just walking, regular walking.
He's a cloud jumper, you know, carved by the gods.
He still had time to flex when he was done. He posed at the end,
He was like,
at the finish
He
line.
had just come from an elimination.
There was a lot of guys crushing this one, and to see not only Mark have all the balls, but have the last ball and time to show everybody flex and slam it means that he absolutely crushed it.
I know that Mark is huge. I didn't know how fast he is. And that dude is faster than all of us. In a dust storm, on a tornado, on a bus, or whatever, on a truck, in a tornado, that dude was faster than everybody.
Hisela, you mentioned after the elimination that like it was impressive that Mark did this after the elimination. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because he had just, like literally the night before, he had just done elimination where he's in the arena and the arena was all like arms and having to go up against Latarian and like that, I swear that was the longest elimination of my life. And then to just jump right back onto the truck like nothing, like whoop-de-doo, here we go, guys. I was like, well, did you have your Wheaties this morning? Like, could you share? I mean...
Yeah. Did you have like a newfound respect for him in that moment?
I've always loved and adored Mark. I've always known that he was a monster. I just, at that point, I was just like, wow, he like has no limits. And your boy straight up goes to bed at like 9 o'clock at night. Straight up, little like mask, eye mask.
That's the secret.
I mean, he's so cute. He's got his little eye mask and he just goes to bed. Okay, guys, I'm going to night-night. I'm like, it's 9 o'clock.
Yep, Mark is a gentle giant.
Let's talk about the deliberation.
Would you be more comfortable in Nehemiah? Okay.
I mean, it's up to you all though, man. I mean,
He's been talking all season with me. So I don't mind.
Easy. You decide to call out Nehemiah and tell people you want him. Did you even think about Hisela when making that call, like knowing that she was going to be the one going against him?
it wasn't a conversation. There were names being tossed around. Alton, Nehemiah, and other names. And, you know, they said Nehemiah's name, and I gave kind of a head nod and a shoulder shrug and said, that'll work. I mean, multiple names were getting brought up throughout the whole entire house. So it wasn't anything out of spite. It was just literally on some of these days, and maybe on this one, it was like a 15-minute, 10-minute deliberation before the nomination. So you don't even really have time to strategize anything. And I was already kind of pissed off that I was going in, you know, so close to what we thought was the end of the show that, you know, it was on tilt anyways. It was just day.
Honestly, like when it's that close and the people that you have to choose from, like I do not knock his decision at all. I don't knock anyone's decision because at that point, it's literally the day before the final. So you have to do what you need to do to get there. And at that point, it's like all bets are off, any alliances, whatever. It's like now it's about me because at the end it's a personal game. So I didn't knock his decision or think that he should have went a different way at all.
What does it feel to have safety this far in the game? So you're not involved in deliberation. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it was good because I was able to stay out of it. I didn't have to do a whole lot of thinking, though. I mean, I still, kind of dabbled a little bit in the thinking process, I guess, with Nehemiah, letting him, saying, hey, just give the people you're considering going against a heads up because that's going to make a difference on how they vote. I mean, that was just obvious to me. I probably would have made sure that everyone knew not to say yes and to say who I wanted to say, whoever that could have been. I didn't think that far ahead because I wasn't in it, but I liked yes as well, probably to my harm, but
I won't harm you. There's no harm, Kellyanne.
I think what kind of shook it up too is obviously my name was going to be the easiest one to vote in nominations. So I think what shook it up was when I automatically put myself in, everybody was kind of back to the drawing board.
I don't think anyone was easy.
I don't know. That's just the way I looked at it. I'm not for sure.
No, for sure. I can see that.
Sure.
I don't think at this point, though, I think we all, it is hard when, at this point, we do have such close connections. There wasn't an asshole who, was around that there was no bananas or someone that we could just be like, let's throw him in, So it did make it harder for us to choose.
It was weird because the two people who told me, going in right before that they were going to vote one way, literally switched and voted the other way. So early on, it was like the first thing that happened. So I just had to sit there throughout the whole voting process, just like, all right, don't do nothing crazy. Don't say anything crazy. You know what I mean? I was just like, all right, just thinking of happy thoughts, rabbits and stuff.
Rabbits?
Rabbits, little bunnies.
Bunnies.
Little fluffy bunnies. Okay.
It was intense because for this one, I think that it was one of the few where there really wasn't a person where everyone was already kind of targeting because everyone knew it was going to be that person. This one, we really kind of had to deliberate and figure it out, and everyone had to plead their case and try to do what they could. So this one, it was intense. It was a fun intense though. It was like a live chess match.
And Nehemiah, you had already gone down into elimination, right? So did you feel like it was fair for your name to even be in question when there were other guys in the house who hadn't done what you had done?
I think that because the way that we played this was we were allowing the people who were going in to kind of dictate which way it was going to go. So I did think that it was fair for me to go in again because Easy hadn't been in and, I'm who he called in and wanted to go with. So I think that it was fair, but I was going to try to make the case that, if I could plead with anything, it would be like already went in and use that as like a tool for me. But it definitely was fair.
I didn't want anyone who had already gone in. I even said I didn't want Kendall to go in because she had already been in twice, if I'm not mistaken.
So what do you think about people who say play with integrity, Gisela? Not saying that you aren't at all, but do you feel like integrity is just sort of being a good person in general? Does it mean sort of being straightforward with everyone? What does that mean to you?
I wouldn't poison somebody's food so that they're sick for the next challenge. You know what I'm saying? That's not playing with integrity. Playing with integrity is jumping on the board when you're told to jump on the board, things like that. But I did, I again didn't want to like anybody, and I started to like people.
You
I even liked Easy. Even when I voted for Easy, that was a hard vote for me because I actually like him.
He kind of grows on you, Gisela. Don't feel bad.
Oh my God, he's hilarious. He's hilarious, and I'm like, he's getting to me because he knows I like funny people. Damn it.
And he is
and
very funny. And
I was jelly. With Kellyanne. I was like, this bitch, she didn't have to go to an arena. She didn't have any kind of blow up fights. And she gets the straight protection into the final. I was so jelly. I was like,
never happens. I've earned so many of these by being on the bottom of the totem pole that God was kind this time.
I was tripping just the whole time. When we were done with that challenge, I know my name's thrown out there. Of course, I don't hear it anywhere, but I know my name is out there. That's the game.
Well, me and Yes talked. We and Yes talked. So my thing was, and you know, it's so funny because again, my real raw and honest, I am always like, I'll talk to you. You can talk to me about anything. You know, don't worry about the reaction. Like, let's get through the conversation. And I told Yes to his face. I said, Yes, I want you to go in against us. Because just the day before, he was willing to go with Katie. And so now I felt a certain kind of way because I was like, so you'll go with Katie, but I won't go against me? Like, what's that about? Like, now I felt like, is Katie more your friend than I am? Because I loved you longer than Katie.
To be fair, Hesela, you said, I believe it was in episode 1 on this thing, that you did not come on the show to make friends.
I'm not here for friendship, okay? Because I've been through a lot of things in life with and without y'all. But by episode 7, now I got feelings for people. You know what I'm saying?
That always happens, yep. I feel you.
And that's what I was trying to avoid because I didn't want to like nobody. So when he says, he's like, no, I don't feel like this. And then like I'm starting to think about it and I'm like, I start to scale back and I'm like, whoa, Hesela, like, what are you doing? Like, you don't just tell somebody the day before a final that you want to go against them in an arena. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Yes. You know what? Even if that's how I felt, like, I probably shouldn't have said it like that to you because I didn't take into account how the feelings you might have about it.
I approach this opposite as you. I thought I need to show up and make friends with everybody. I didn't have this whole, oh, some people aren't going to be friends. Oh, we're going to do this, hide that, figure out secrets. It's the opposite. I was just like, here I am. Who wants to be my friend? Like maybe a real friend.
Everybody.
And then, or you could just take me out and that's fine too. But speaking with you, Hesela, was great because you told me, all right, hey, look, it sounds like you or Darrell. And I was like, ain't nobody, a bunch of people going to say Darrell's name. So it looks like me, but everything you told me helped prepare me just for what's coming. So in that way, it was enormously useful. And then I went to talk to Nehemiah, and Nehemiah didn't say anything. He wouldn't tell me anything. And I was like, well, I'm just curious. Are you thinking, like, what is the metrics that you might be using for voting? You know, is there any criteria that you might be considering for certain people or names? And he was like, eating his food, like, didn't say nothing. I was like,
of Nehemiah,
you know, okay, that's information too.
Speaking of Nehemiah and eating his food, Hesela, you seem to be annoyed with Anissa for, you know, voting for Nehemiah, even though she originally said she was going to vote for Yes.
You play the same game every challenge, Anissa. I'm done with it.
That's okay.
Hesela's my best friend. So you could stab me in the back at the end.
I didn't stab you in the back. That's not stabbing you in the back. And if you want to have this conversation, we can, but we're not doing that.
It's gonna take you in. It's the game you wanted.
No, it's not the game I wanted.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, Anissa.
I get weaponized every single challenge from being everyone's friend. But you wouldn't know that. You haven't played in 15 years. We're not doing this.
You're right.
I played with my integrity tonight.
No.
Yes, I did. But I don't end friendships over this. Sorry.
So the problem was, it's, you know, when we came into this game, we're playing our game for ourselves, which is great. But she and I had a very candid conversation where I told her, I said, hey, it's been brought to my attention that when you go on to these challenges, you kind of play out the same storyline where you're best friends, huggy, lovey-dovey with one person, and then you flip on them or you stab them in the back at some point in the game. I don't want that storyline for us because we have been friends for a very long time. And for me, she told me to my face she was going to vote for Yes. And I'm like, that's cool. Now, she could have voted. She could have voted for anyone. Even voting for Nehemiah. I don't care. But the fact that she told me she was voting for Yes, to flip the script like she's done on her other shows or her other challenges, and then vote for Nehemiah, which then in my eyes put her in the lion's den. I was like, well, wait a minute. Did y'all want to go against me the whole time? Because if that's the case, like, let me know.
Right.
Like, we can do this. But that's where my anger came from, because I was like, you did it to me. You made me the storyline that you've done with all your other friends, and I don't like it. And that's why I was so upset, because I felt betrayed when all you had to do was tell me the truth.
Hesela, I have to ask you, was there an ulterior motive for saving Alton?
From this one, yes, because I felt in my heart of hearts that he wouldn't have tried.
Did you feel it in your heart of hearts, or did you feel it somewhere else? Because word on the street was y'all were feeling up several things throughout the challenge house. So I'm just wondering if the ulterior motive of saving Alton was being concerned for him, but also keeping your challenge cuddle buddy close by.
Aw, that's what we're called. Alton is an absolutely beautiful soul. He is gorgeous, also carved by the gods. I mean, like he is, waits on your hand and foot. He's very caring, and I love that energy.
Are you guys still talking now? Did we manage to bring that black
love? We talk
love?
all the time.
Ooh, girl, get it, black love. Get it, black love. And keep
we
us
talk
updated.
all the time. I mean, we're at a place where if you need Alton to show up to one of these things, you might as well go ahead and message me, and I'll coordinate it because he don't check his emails like that.
There we go. But he checks messages from Hisela. Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the elimination.
You're playing Ring Cling. There are 2 9-foot poles right here in the center of the arena. There's also a giant wall on each side, 1 for each team. On each pole, there are 10 rings. Your goal is to get those rings off as fast as you can. Use those rings to build a ladder up your wall. Climb the ladder and ring the bell at the top.
Hisela, so you sprained your knee in this elimination. Can you tell us about that?
What happened is because on the boxcar situation where I was supposed to jump from pillar to pillar, I didn't jump. I was like gun-ho, like from now on, I'm jumping, I'm taking chances. And when we were at the top of this pole, I was like sliding down the pole and I didn't know how far down it was to hit the floor. So I jumped and my knee like went backwards.
Oh my God.
And I went straight to the ground. Oh, my knee.
What happened?
I just heard her scream. I thought she had already jumped off my shoulders, and I just hear her screaming and holding her knee, and I thought it was done.
But it wasn't. It wasn't done.
Like Hisela said, it wasn't done. Like I told her, I said, just stay there if you're hurt. And I took the rings, and obviously they were just a ball and chain of mess. And I look up and she's crawling over to me to help me undo the chains. I mean, if it wasn't for Hisela undoing the chains, it wouldn't have went as smoothly as it went. But TJ just said make a ladder. He didn't necessarily specify what type of ladder, and it just clicked in my head. And once it clicked, I mean, Hisela will tell you, I mean, it was just, I mean, we were just pegging it out and climbing to the top.
Teamwork.
I think that her helping me allowed us to get up there so quickly that TJ wasn't expecting it to go that quickly at all.
The safety team came running when it was over, and they're like, you have to go to the medic, because they said that the leg bent out like an ostrich. They said they saw it bend out like an ostrich. And I was like, there's no blood. That was my thing. I held my knee in pain and I didn't see blood, and I was like, I'm not giving up.
Were you operating on pure adrenaline at this point? Like,
I didn't even feel the cold. It was freezing that night.
And you guys still win after all that. I mean, it is literally by all means necessary. Props to you guys. And not an unshout out to Nehemiah, but you lost even though Hisela destroyed her knee. How are you feeling in this moment? Like, is that sort of a double blow?
No, I think the blow alone is just losing and going home. I don't think that there's extra to it, like that was pain enough to lose that soon. And I really did try. I remember going and just taking off and doing our strategy, and I'm holding up the rings, and I'm like, I'm not hearing them fall. And I'm like, what's going on up there? I couldn't see anything. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And that's when I was a little worried. When I lost, I was like, it's all good. I felt like what Easy did, he deserved, him being able to construct the ladder the way that he did, Hisela pulling through, with her leg, they deserved that win at that moment more than me and Kendall did. They had to overcome way more obstacles than we did. So, they won very, very fair and square and impressively. So, my hat is off to them.
You are not only an amazing competitor, but your humility, Nehemiah, seriously. Like, I know I give you crap, but it is so commendable and just one of the things that makes you a really great challenger. So, we were glad to see you here. And you and Easy have history because you've gone head to head in an elimination before. Who won last time?
He did. He's my kryptonite. Easy's my kryptonite. I could probably go in there and beat everybody. The moment Easy comes, it doesn't matter what it's gonna be, he's going to beat me. And it's just gonna come. Like, I've accepted it as a fate.
I mean, dude, you had a hell of a season, bro. I mean, from the first challenge on swimming to the end, congratulations on a hell of a season.
You know, I had an utmost respect for you early on. You know, I know that you could win. And so when you made it that far but didn't make it to the end, I'm bummed for you. I'm bummed that we don't get to run the final together. I would love to do it. You know, I'd love to team up or to compete, you know, with you more. So I know you deserve to win, man. So it was tough.
I was like crying and like, oh my God, I can't get a grip of my emotions right now. I was so sad.
So in summation, Nehemiah, everybody wants you back. So we want to see more of you. They want to compete with you, run against you. I want you back here on the Aftermath as well. And we have enjoyed your contribution to this season of the Challenge All-Stars. Kellyanne, Easy, Hisela, and yes, you guys made it to the final. What does it mean making it to the final after all these years? Tell me about it.
It felt natural. Didn't it feel natural?
It felt good. I'm running that final with this leg no matter what. It didn't stop me in the arena. I won't let it stop me in the game.
Get it, girl. Get it. I like it. Easy. What does it mean for you? Because the last time you were on a challenge, we were actually going against one another, yes. And you quit. Some people say that you did it for me, but can we just put that on the record? Can we just put that now on the record? Did you quit that?
It wasn't for you.
Thank
no,
you.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
But
okay.
if you want it to be for you, it could be for you.
I didn't say that. But people, I want to put it out there that it wasn't for me. But yes. We went head to head was the last time that you were on a challenge. And I think that was about midway through that you left the game. I know you've been wanting to come back. What does it mean not only to come back, but then to actually make it to the final?
Sometimes making it to the final is harder than the final itself. I mean, just because one day you're on top of the mountain, the next day you're at the bottom of the mountain, and you're just there's always a nervous anxiety. So coming back, you know, the first step was not wanting to be the first person out. The second step was making it halfway. The third step was making it to the final. And like Nehemiah said, I mean, the part is the last thing you want to do before a final is have to do an elimination that you could possibly go home. And it's the worst feeling, sending someone home that's made the ride that far. But, you know, it was a part of the process that I wanted to complete coming back, and it felt great.
For me, the biggest mountain to climb was the social game in the house. And it was all the things I don't know about that people talk about and the allegiances that they have. To me, that was the biggest mystery and struggle to overcome. So now that we're in the final, I'm just like, all right, you could throw whatever at me. I'll do whatever. We'll try whatever. I'll try my hardest. We'll team up. We'll go individual. Let's go.
We're going to switch gears. I feel like some of you should know me by now. And there's something that I love to do on the Aftermath. What is it that I love to do, you guys?
Games!
Play games.
Yes, I love to play games. You guys are so great. So we are going to play a little game, and this one is called Pictionary. I have sent each one of you what you will be drawing, and when it's your turn, you will draw it for us, and the rest of the cast will try and figure out what the heck you are doing. We are going to first start with Big Easy. All right, Big Easy, go for it.
All right.
Oh my God, what is that? Some clouds. That's an animal? That's a Patagonian backwood dock.
A train?
Oh, okay.
Animal with something on the ground in front of it.
Africa. Animal in Africa?
Oh, I get where he's going with this.
South America. That's South America.
What was the challenge in Africa?
But is that an animal?
Okay, so what is that? Okay, it was an animal. It was an animal.
Food, plate.
Uh-huh.
Food.
You have to eat. You had to eat a bunch of dead animals.
Pig.
The pig.
Bloodline.
Yours. You were on it.
Fresh meat. Fresh meat.
Thank you.
Fresh meat.
Fresh meat.
Yes, thank you.
But what was
He was showing like a live meat because he was showing like a live animal and then dead meat, like fresh meat, like fresh. Yes. Nehemiah. All right, it's your turn.
I can't draw for so.
Okay.
Did you see what Easy just drew? I think you're okay.
Is it a water gun?
Okay.
It's a gun shooting. It's a
gauntlet.
All right, I need a list of all the challenges.
Rivals.
Right, you're going exactly where I thought Nehemiah
a
would
battle.
think.
That's a battle right there with the gun.
Battle of the Seasons.
War of the Worlds.
Good job, Easy.
See?
Yes. Artist.
See?
All right, Miss Kellyanne, now it is your turn.
No, I don't have a whiteboard. My dog ate my white stuff, so okay.
Inferno.
Oh,
Bam!
That's win.
Wow.
He's
Good. That
very
was it.
good.
All right.
Nehemiah. Fire was obviously very good too.
Yes, it is your turn, Mr. Artist. Now, we
Hey.
do expect a full-blown, you know,
This better be
illustration.
Picasso.
Yeah, it needs to be no pressure.
The gauntlet.
Boom. Done. Done.
Okay, how
Priscilla.
on earth is that?
Done.
See?
Priscilla, he
Boom.
literally
That's just how we
put
work.
the marker
That's how we
to
work.
the board.
That's how we
how
do
we
it.
do
That's
it.
what I was gonna do. You
Me
know,
and
it's
Yes,
a-
me and
it's
Yes
a-
are right
you're
here.
like,
Yeah.
You know, it's a gauntlet.
You gotta be
right?
on that
Got
same
the-
wavelength.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
Because I was on the
Shit.
gauntlet. The whole boat, I was there.
Gauntlet.
I have no memory of it whatsoever.
There we go. Boom. At least we got, hold that
Boom.
to the screen one more time. Can we see that? Yes, that you just did that
you know,
so
it's your
fast.
gauntlet. I
Look
don't
at
know.
that. All right, girl. This one is you, okay?
All right.
That was
Y'all ready?
one of my
Yep,
Yes.
ready.
X's.
Bloodlines.
Battle of the
It
X's.
Boom.
It was Battle of the Exes. Was Yes still guessing
Battle of
wrong
the-
answers? I mean,
I'm
he's
so
like,
bad. I'm so
He's
bad.
on a delay. He's on
Dirty
that
30.
California
So
delay.
Free agents. It was indeed Battle of the Exes. You guys, this has been so much fun. And that's a wrap on this episode of The Challenge Aftermath. I'm your host, Devyn Simone. Be sure to check out a new episode of The Challenge Allstars, now streaming exclusively on Paramount+. In the meantime, here's a sneak peek of episode 8.
Welcome to the grand finale. But make no mistake about it, the hard part starts now.
I might die on this mountain. I didn't realize how grueling this was gonna be.
You gotta focus.
Oh, God!
I am ready to quit. You gotta eat a minute.